In this video, we are going to walk through the steps for installation of the ISOBUS sprayer control system. For safety and protection of electronic components, it is advised that you disconnect the ground cable from the battery of the tractor. Let's go over the three basic components for this installation. First, you have an ISOBUS harness cable. This harness is available in different lengths between 3 feet and 43 feet. Second, you have a liquid ECU. This ECU contains the firmware, profile, software, and hardware to control the sprayer control system. Third, you have a harness to connect the ECU to the sprayer with adapter options. We will get into the different types of adapter harnesses later in this video. Now that you have the components, the first step is to mount the ECU. Locate a stable and flat area on the sprayer approximately 8 by 16 inches. The area should be protected from flying debris and dirt, and the ECU can be mounted in any orientation. Using 4 1/4 by 3/4 inch length bolts and nylon locking nuts, bolt the ECU to the sprayer. Be sure not to over-tighten the mounting bolts. Over-tightening may damage the ECU housing. Once the ECU is securely mounted, the next step is to connect the ISOBUS harness from the ISO connector on the tractor to the ECU on the sprayer. Route the ISOBUS harness from the ECU to the implement hitch point. This cable will mate with the tractor's ISOBUS connector. If your tractor is not factory equipped with an ISOBUS connector, you will need to have one installed before you can proceed with installation. If you are using a momentary external master switch, plug in the master switch connection from the ISOBUS harness to the tractor. It's extremely important to isolate the harness from pinch points and sharp edges that may damage the harness. Secure any excess cabling with the included cable ties. Connect the ISOBUS implement cable harness to the ECU on the sprayer. Be sure and install the included cap on the unused 16-pin connector on the ECU to keep out dirt and debris. There are 3 implement cable harness options: Field IQ, AccuControl IntelliRate, Raven 400, and Raven 4000. Select the correct harness for your system. Connect the harness to the 42-pin connector on the ECU. If you are using a Field IQ system, you will need to add a Field IQ AccuControl IntelliRate adapter to the complete harness. Connect this adapter harness to the rate control on the complete harness. Plug in the flow meter cable and control valve cable. At the back of the sprayer, plug in the section control cables and power cable. Be sure to secure this harness in such a way that it doesn't transfer weight or stress to the connection with the ECU. Undue stress from the harness can damage the ECU. If you are connecting the ECU to Raven components, you will need the correct Raven harness adapter. The 400 series uses a 16-pin connector. The 4000 series uses a 37-pin connector. As was mentioned earlier, secure the harness in such a way that it doesn't transfer weight or stress to the connection with the ECU. Consult the ISOBUS Liquid ECU installation manual for additional details on cabling configurations, compatible part numbers, and detailed diagrams. The physical installation is now complete. For the next step, refer to the sprayer operation manual and/or watch the sprayer setup and configuration video for the next steps on choosing the correct profile, uploading firmware, and configuring the system.